Ahoy and welcome back. Today is Tuesday, April 8th. I have your 4 best bets for you in the NBA today. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the page. We get a massive 10-game NBA slate here. It's games 78 and 79 for the majority of these teams in the NBA season. We are in the prime NBA push. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the page. We are at the best time of the year in this NBA season. It's pretty shockingly, a lot of these games do matter for the majority of these teams. Yes, some of these teams are doing the ultimate tank-off, but we get a massive 10-game slate here. If you're new to the channel, I'm Chris from DaWiddler Sports. What I'd like to do is NBA preview through the majority of the games, then recap the plays from the other day, and then talk about today's plays here. But today we're going to talk about all these 10 games here in this massive NBA slate here today. And let's just going to start right into it with the Cleveland-Chicago Bulls matchup. 239 over under Cleveland, 11-point favorite here at home. There's been quite a few injuries already into this game. No Donovan Mitchell. Josh Giddey and Vucevic are questionable. Kobe White ruled out. He's resting for this matchup. Bulls have a massive game versus the Miami Heat tomorrow, so that's probably why a lot of Bulls players are not. It's going to be a little questionable game for the Bulls play here. Bulls plays here. Say that 5 times fast. No Lonzo, no Kevin Huerter in the lineup as well. Massive game overall. Bulls are playing for that 8th and 7th seed overall, where Cleveland, they pretty much solidified their top seed. This is just a get-right game. This is just throw the guys out there so they're not feeling down while they wait for the NBA play-in. Jump into the second game. We get the Atlanta Hawks versus Orlando. Massive game here. This is a huge game. It's the 8th seed versus the 7th seed. They are 1-1 on their season series, so if whoever wins this has a potential to win the season series, which will help them with the playoff standings overall. Massive game, 1-1. Few games left. They do play one more time, I think, next week. So this is a huge game here for home court. Orlando's the home favorite, 225, 5-point favorite. Massive game. Like I said, 7th seed versus the 8th seed. Hey, this is to host the NBA play-in game here overall. And you have the chance to play Boston versus Cleveland. I think you would rather play Boston, if you're being honest, but I think you would rather play Cleveland. Either way, you're probably going to get swept out in the East, but massive game out in the Eastern Conference to start off. Washington versus Indiana, 238 over-under. This is an 18-point spread. This is the biggest spread on the slate here, and the Wizards will happily get loss number 62 in this game in Indiana. They pretty much locked up the 4th seed, so that game doesn't really have much going on for it overall. Memphis versus Charlotte, the same situation here. The Western Conference, if you really want to know, the 5th seed all the way down to the 8th seed all have the same record, 46 and 32. And Memphis, they fall into that. They're currently the 8th seed right here. And the Denver Nuggets, who are the 4th seed, are only a half game up on all of that. So the 4th through 8th seed out west is still up for grabs. And that's massive because you don't want to be playing in the NBA play-in. So Memphis, you really want this game. And I bet the Hornets would gladly take loss number 60 on the year. We get the Pelicans versus the Brooklyn Nets. This game is the ultimate tank commanding game of the day. Tank commanding game of the day. 21 wins versus 25 wins. Both of these teams would rather lose, so this game is a fugazi, just does not exist. 213 over under. Brooklyn 2-point favorite. I bet they would love the Pelicans to win, and I bet the Pelicans would rather love the Brooklyn Nets to win that game. That's my hashtag analysis for that game overall. Boston versus the Knicks on TNT. Fun game overall, 223. This one is going to be interesting. Just like any time the Celtics play, Porzingis, Brown, and Tatum are all questionable going into this matchup. No Al Horford in this matchup as well. So definitely going to be interesting to see how it is going into playing time. And Jaylen Brown, he's returning from injury, so we don't know if Jalen Brunson is returning from injury, so he might be a little worried with his game time decision. But this game doesn't really mean much for either team. The Celtics are pretty much solidified as the 2 seed. The Knicks are pretty much solidified as the 3 seed. This game is just for bragging rights. This is just to see how you feel going into the playoffs. I bet the Knicks will step it up here because they've lost a lot of games this year where they haven't beaten the top seed, and this is that game. This is just like the Rockets versus OKC last week, where we all know that the other team is better, but this is the matchup where they're like, hey, we're better than that other team on prime time. Everyone look at us. And then the playoffs will come around and they'll get smoked overall. Minnesota versus Milwaukee. This should have been the primetime game. This game's a ton of fun. Milwaukee is the home favorite, 223 over under. Minnesota 4-point favorite here on the road. Minnesota is the 7th seed. They're battling in that wild, wild west. This is a massive game for them here overall. And Milwaukee, this is a massive game because they're currently the 4th seed. No, they're currently the 5th seed, and Detroit is right behind them on the 6th seed. This is a big game if they would rather play the Knicks or would they rather play the Pacers round one. And I think for the Bucks, I think you would rather play the Pacers round one. Even though you probably are not going to have a Dame and probably will lose round one. I think with the Pacers, though, you have more of a likelihood to win versus the Knicks overall. LA versus OKC, they're running it back from Sunday. Ton of fun matchup, 1 seed versus the 3 seed. This game means a little bit more for the Lakers overall because the Western Conference standings, they're the 3rd seed. They do have a game and a half cushion against the Nuggets, but you don't want to get close to that Wild West where you could easily go into the play-in. I think the Lakers, they're going to try really hard in this matchup overall. We're forever going to see the Reeves, Luka, LeBron all questionable before the game. It's like the Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis. All 3 of those guys will be questionable before the game, and it's going to be pretty much like all 3 will play or 2 of the 3 will play. And then Rui Hachimura is ruled out in that matchup. So definitely should be an interesting game. Hopefully a better game than it was the other day where the Lakers just steamrolled them. Hopefully SGA balls out in that matchup. Golden State versus Phoenix is the late TNT matchup here overall. Golden State Warriors, they're in that massive hunt. They're the 6th seed. They're in that hunt to stay out of the play-in. And the Suns, they're basically out of it. This is just a Devin Booker, you go out there and drop 40 for us again matchup here. And then San Antonio versus Clippers, massive game for the Clippers. They're the 5th seed, which is crazy to say. But the Clippers, they want to win this. They have the easiest matchup, 2nd highest spread on the day, or 3rd highest spread on the day, 12-point favorite here at home. They will need one, and I think the Spurs would gladly lose this matchup here. So a massive 10-game slate here today. Some fun, important matchups here. A lot of these teams, 78 games, 79 games on the season. I got 4 plays here that I absolutely love. And before we jump into today's plays, we got to recap yesterday's action and yesterday in the NBA. I'm going 1-1 in best bets overall. Cade Cunningham assists. Yeah, I kind of went with a little more of a long shot-ish play on there. Thought he had a great matchup with the assists. He finished the game with 5 assists. Should have just done points assists because that would have cashed with ease. But hey, I just rode with the assists and that didn't. But DeMar DeRozan, points assists. He had a great game overall. He was marvelous. Him and Zach LaVine always killed the Detroit Pistons overall. 1-1 day yesterday. It was the national championship. What an incredible game that was. Florida winning in the end there. What a weird situation. I wish we got like that last shot, but man, that game was awesome overall, and it ended at a pretty good time overall. 1-1 day yesterday, but that was yesterday. Today's a new day. I want a 4-0 sweep here. And let's just jump into it. For my first play of the day, going to be in this Atlanta-Orlando matchup. The future NBA play-in matchup of the day here. 225 over under. Orlando 4-point favorite here at home. And Paolo Banchero has balled out in this matchup recently. And I'm going to continue to ride the hot hand here. So give me Paolo Banchero to go over 28.5 points coming at -110 on DraftKings. He has a great matchup here. Atlanta allows the most points to the power forward position. The Hawks, these last 15 games, allow the 4th most points and the 9th most threes to the power forward position in Atlanta. These last 7 games allow the most points and the 8th most threes to the power forward position. And Paolo Banchero has been cooking against the Atlanta Hawks. He's gotten this over 3 for his last 3 against the Hawks. No, I should say 3 for his last 4 against the Atlanta Hawks. My bad, averaging 35 points, averaging 32 points per game. With the last 4 games, him scoring 35, 26, 31, and 36 in the last 4 games. So 3 of those 4 games kept scoring 30-plus points here. Yes, this number's a little higher. He's only gotten this over 2 for his last 5, averaging 28.4 points per game overall. But at home here, he's been better than he is on the road at home. He's gotten over 3 for his last 5 games, averaging 29.2 points per game, with all 3 of those overs scoring 30-plus points in all of those matchups overall. Hasn't played in a few days. They've had a 4-day rest-off period, which is wild at this time of the year, so they're well-rested in this big matchup here overall. I have him projected at 31 points in this matchup, and power forwards against Atlanta have had some massive games overall. OG Anunoby, 24. Anthony Davis just had 34. Giannis, 31. Jabari Smith had 17. I think it's, Jabari Smith, 17. And Jalen Wilson had 13 points overall. Atlanta allowing the most points to the power forward position the last 30 games. Atlanta, these last 7 games have struggled against the power forward position, allowing the most points to him. I have him projected at 31-plus points here. His last game against the Hawks had 36-plus points here. This is a massive playoff game here. big-time players, big-time games. So give me Paolo, Banchero to ball out. Give me Paolo to go over 28.5 points, coming in at minus 110. On DraftKings, jumping into my second play of the day, going to be in this Cleveland-Chicago Bulls matchup, 239. I believe if I looked at the line correctly, it's at 240 now. Cleveland is a 12-point favorite here at home. This game it means a lot more for the Chicago Bulls, but the Bulls, they're looking ahead for tomorrow's game against the Miami Heat. So this game and the road here, I think they will try, but you'll see a lot more lackluster defense here overall. And Evan Mobley, without Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, has been steady all season. So give me Evan Mobley to go over 19.5 points, coming in at minus 125. On DraftKings, the Chicago Bulls on the season allow the 10th most points to the power forward position, and Evan Mobley, with no Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, has gone over 7 for his last 7 games, averaging 22.6 points per game. The last 5 games without Donovan Mitchell, he's scored 30, 20, 21, 22, and 21 points per game overall. Overall, he's only scored this over 2 for his last 5, averaging 17 points per game, but that's with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup. Versus the Bulls, he's gotten this over 1 for his last 2 games, scoring 25 and 15 in the last 2 games here overall. With no Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, he averages almost 15 field goal attempts per game, where with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, he only averages 12 shots per game, so 3 extra shots for him without Donovan Mitchell, which is huge. That's a big sway on him getting the over overall. He's gone over 6 for his last 10 home games, averaging 18.9 points per game with all 6 of those overs, him scoring 20-plus points in those overall. The Bulls allow the 30th most points under the rim, so that little 2K hot zone right under the rim here, and Evan Mobley takes 58% of his shots right underneath the rim, so he has overall a great option there overall. I have him projected at 22-plus points, and the power forwards versus the Chicago Bulls have had some massive games. Denny just had 37. Peyton Watson just had 24. Trey Lyles, 22. And KD just had 26. I think Evan Mobley here, without Donovan Mitchell, who has gone over 7 for his last 7 games, averaging 22.6 points per game. I've projected at 22-plus points. The Chicago Bulls allow the 10th most points to the power forward position this season. 240 over under. Give me Evan Mobley to go over 19.5 points, coming in at minus 125. On DraftKings for the third play of the day, probably one of the most important games on the slate in this Milwaukee versus Minnesota matchup. 223 over under. Minnesota, 4-point favorite. Minnesota, you're out in the wild, wild west. Milwaukee, you're at home trying to battle off trying to get into the 5 versus 4 matchup. You're going to be looking at the 6 seed with the Pistons right behind you. And I think Anthony Edwards here on the road has a massive, juicy spot here. We get a nice number here overall. So give me Anthony Edwards to go over 26.5 points. My bad. Over 26.5 points coming in minus 110. On DraftKings, the Bucks, these last 15 games, allowed the 8th most points to the shooting guard position. The Milwaukee Bucks, the last 7 games, they allow the most points to the shooting guard position. And Anthony Edwards has been on a heater. He's gotten us over 3 for his last 5, averaging 28.8 points per game. Love it even more because he's on the road, where he has a 58% hit rate on the road this season, averaging 28.7 points per game. Getting you over 4 for his last 5 road games, averaging 29 points per game. With the last 5 road games, him scoring 29, 17, 34, 28, and 37 in his last 5 road games. And now he gets to play the Bucks, where he has a great history of getting the over. Got this over 3 for his last 4 against the Bucks, averaging 28 points per game overall. I don't know why I have had averaging. It's just me talking to my notes here. Last 4 games against the Bucks, 30, 26, 28, and 28. So solid consistency overall, worth an opportunity here for him to just take the head off. I think he'll get 30-plus points here, because my projections have him at 28-plus points in this matchup. So we get an overall nice cushion overall. Milwaukee on the season allows the 19th most straightaway threes, that little 2K hot zone where Anthony Edwards takes 50% of his shots. These last 5 games, they allow the 22nd most straightaway threes, so that 2K hot zone gets even hotter on the top of the three-point line. Like I said, Anthony Edwards takes 50% of his shots there, so he's a great matchup here on the road. Shooting guards versus the Bucks. Hey, they look like Michael Redd out there. Austin Reeves has 23. Alec Burks had 24. Quentin Grimes, 24. Devin Booker had 39-plus points. Dyson Daniels, the Great Barrier Reef, had 22. Mikal Bridges, 26. Christian Braun, 19. And the GOAT himself, Bronny James, had 17 plus points against this Bucks team overall. Massive game for their Western Conference standings for the Wolves in this matchup here. We haven't gotten 26.5 points for him in a while here. On the road here, I love this spot for Ant-Man. So give me Anthony Edwards to go over 26.5 points, coming in at minus 110 on DraftKings. The jump into my fourth and final play of the day, going to be in the Suns Golden State Warriors matchup here. 228 over under on primetime. Golden State Warriors 7-point favorite. They need this game here. And Devin Booker, man, we've taken his over his last few games here. They're giving us the same kind of number as always. He is taking insane volume right now. This is just a glory play here. No KD, no problem. So give me Devin Booker to go over 28.5 points, coming in minus 125 on DraftKings. He's gotten this over 4 for his last 5 games without Kevin Durant in the lineup, averaging 37.4 points per game. Absolute heater overall. Now he's playing a Warriors team where he's gotten this over 6 for his last 9 games. Great number overall, averaging 30.2 points per game with the last 9 games against the Warriors. He's had 34, 27, 32, 32, 25, 32, 32, 27, and 31 in the most recent matchup. So great consistency scoring overall, with the opportunity to go even beyond 28.5 points here overall. The last 4 games with no KD against the Warriors, he scored 34, 27, 32, and 32 in the last 4 games without KD. So love that overall. He plays the Warriors. He has great games overall. Over 4 for his last 5 overall without Kevin Durant, scoring 47, 24, 39, 37, and 40 in his last 5 games without Kevin Durant in the lineup. Love that overall. He even has a nice 2K hot zone in this matchup. Golden State Warriors allow the 29th most mid-range shots, where Devin Booker takes 22% of his shots, and the Warriors inside the key allow the 29th most points inside the key, so inside the little free throw line before the rim there, the little 2K hot zone. That's where Devin Booker takes 24% of his shots. So you tell me, in 2 spots where Devin Booker takes a good amount of his shots, the Warriors struggle at guarding the shooting guard position. Sign me up every time. The volume has been absolutely insane without Kevin Durant these last 3 games. 32 shots, 29 shots, and 29 shots these last 3 games overall. In the last 4 games against the Warriors, he's averaging 22 field goal attempts per game, 69% hit rate on this season. Great number when he takes 22 field goal attempts per game here. So you're telling me these last 3 games here, he's at 32, 29, 29, and when he takes 21 field goal attempts per game, he gets the over 69% of the time. Love that overall. I have him projected at 31 plus points here, so I love this spot for Devin Booker here overall. 4 for his last 5 without KD in the lineup. 6 for his last 9 against the Warriors overall. 69% hit rate when he takes 21 field goal attempts per game. Love this spot for Devin Booker, so give me D-Book to go over 28.5 points, coming in at minus 125 on DraftKings. And those are my 4 best bets for you in the NBA today. Just going to rattle them off again for you guys here. Devin Booker over 28, Anthony Edwards over 26, Evan Mobley over 19, and Paolo Banchero to start our day over 28.5 points. Massive 10-game slate. Let me know down below, what's your favorite play in the NBA? Love tailing you guys in the comments section. It's always nice when we're both making each other money here. Had a fun week overall in the comment section last week. Fresh week here today. 10-game slate. Let me know down below. And while you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe. It makes me know you like the content. I truly appreciate the support this page has been getting. Would love to get to 200 subscribers before the NBA play-in. But hey, we're battling here overall. Hopefully having a wonderful day. Keep on smiling. And I will see you in the next one.